Hello, everybody, and welcome to a very special edition of the Wrestling Forum live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Bruno MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio, Michael Bullock. Gentlemen, we're just going to dive right on in. This was the Elimination Chamber recap, and we started it off, guys, with a pre show match, as it was Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. Rey Mysterio wins the match in 8 minutes and 20 seconds. That was a pre show fight that was not on the main card. So here we go. We started it off with the Universal Championship match, as it was Roman Reigns putting the title on the line against Bill Goldberg, winner of the bout in 6 minutes even, and still the Universal Champion Roman Reigns winning the match, successfully defending the title. Outcome predictable. The match was somewhat all right, I guess. You could say it was about maybe 2.5 stars. I thought the match was a lot more longer than 6, but Goldberg had a couple of moments where he did hit him with the spear, and it was the guillotine that Roman Reigns got on Goldberg to put him out and win the match and successfully defend the title. The crowd was electric to start the match. And that's the one thing. The Saudi crowd was really into this. So credit to them for making the match as better as it looked on TV. Really nothing more to add here. So solid match. Anthony, it's yours.
2 to 2.5 for this. It set out to do exactly what it intended. Goldberg, the aging veteran, threw what he had at Roman Reigns, but it became apparent very quickly that he would not be able to dethrone a world-class athlete in the prime of his career. The 55-year-old stuck to his greatest hits, and when he predictably tried for the jackhammer a second time, Reigns countered and put him to sleep with the guillotine. It was simple, effective storytelling at its best. It was also the first time Goldberg has been submitted, enhancing Reigns even more than he already has been over the last 2 years. This was the last match of Goldberg on Goldberg's WWE contract, and probably should remain that way, at least for the time being. Let him stay away for a while so we can regain what made him special, and if he chooses to come back harder than he has been in recent years. So that's really all there is for me to say on this. 2 to 2.5, I agree with the ratings. So Phenom Michael Bullock, come on in, it's all yours.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a fine match here. 2.5. I mean, yeah, that Saudi crowd was into it, and yeah, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, we knew Roman Reigns was gonna win this one, so yeah, the dominant reign of the tribal chief continues. So. And now it's onward for him to WrestleMania as the Universal Champion. So there's really nothing more to add to it. So Fletch, let's move on.
And we will indeed move on. Next up was the Elimination Chamber for the women. The winner would get a shot at the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. The participants were Liv Morgan, Nikki ASH, Doudrop, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, and Alexa Bliss. When it was all said and done, the winner of the bout in 15 minutes and 45 seconds altogether, and now the number one contender for the Raw Women's Championship and receiving a championship fight at WrestleMania, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. Anthony, we both called it. We said Bianca. We were both correct.
Of course. I've been going back and forth about this. At first, I was a little meh about it, but then after rewatching it, I figured, you know what, I'm gonna give it the rating it deserves. I'm gonna give this in excess of 3.5 to 3.75 of a star. I believe the shorter entrance intervals helped this one. It never had the opportunity to overstay its welcome and saw action from start to finish. It was more succinct and everything meant something. there were stories represented, Ripley versus ASH and Ripley and Bianca meeting again, and Liv Morgan had a chance to shine. Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair is a rivalry that is going to define an entire generation of women's wrestling one day. And Morgan has to be the most lovable loser in recent WWE history. I think she's going to win the big one eventually, and WWE is going to have a megastar on its hands when she does. Doudrop probably could have dominated a bit more, but she has been presented strongly on television in recent weeks, so losing doesn't hurt her. Bliss showed up and showed out, proving the months away from the ring have not hurt her abilities between the ropes. A strong match with great booking and the right winner, this easily ranks as one of the best women's Elimination Chamber matches of all time. So I'm going to give it between 3 3/4 to 4 stars for me. So with that being said, like a bullet predictable outcome, but shorter entrance intervals, I believe, helped this out.
Yeah, I think the shorter entrance when it comes to the Elimination Chamber. So yeah, I mean, it was, to me, this was definitely a 3.5 star, 3.5, 3 3/4. I mean, it was a good match here. I mean, yeah, and of course, since I got this one wrong, I'm gonna eat that slice of humble pie, and because my boys Florio and Fletch got this one right, because they said Bianca Belair was going to do it, even though I know some people will probably say, wait, we've seen this before with Becky Lynch and obviously I think I already gave it away with the but we'll get into it. So 3.5, 3 3/4. I thought this was a good Elimination Chamber when it comes to the women. So Fletch, I mean, what did you think? I mean, did you think did it live up to your potential, or do you think it could have been better?
No, I think it lived up for the most part. I mean, Elimination Chambers are really hard to really, predict or even, say whatever you want to say. I think they did a really good job with it. I think at the end of the day, it was really well done. So yeah, no, I'm not gonna dispute what they did. I think it was a very good, very solid match. I think they did a really good job. So 3.5 to 3 3/4. I think 4 is a little bit of a reach, guys, Anthony, to say the very least. So we got nothing more to say. So we got that. Then we had ourselves the next match was Ronda Rousey and Naomi going up against Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville in the tag team match. Ronda Rousey and Naomi wins the match in 9 minutes and 15 seconds. So Michael Bullock, I give it to you.
2.5 stars is my rating on this. I mean, yeah, the whole thing, as we've said, I mean, with Ronda Rousey, I mean, having to wrestle with one arm tied behind her back, only for Sonya to basically show that her arm was fine the whole time, which was, I don't know about you guys, but pretty stupid on the part of her, as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, I mean, the outcome to me was never in doubt here, and it obviously gives Ronda Rousey some momentum going into her showdown with the Queen Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. So yeah, so we'll wait and see how it goes. As now it's all eyes on Ronda and Charlotte for Mania. So Fletch, it is yours.
They were protecting Ronda as best as they could in this situation. They also wanted Ronda to look really, really, really amazing going into that title match too. So what were they going to do? Well, you got to show that Ronda is a powerhouse and a force to be reckoned with. Even with one arm tied behind her back, she was an unbelievable player in the match. And she actually wore something a little different. She actually went back to her judo gi that she wore in her time in the Olympics. Remember, Ronda Rousey was an Olympian in judo as well. So she actually brought that. She did not wear the traditional outfit like some of the other women were wearing. She actually went with the gi and everything else and looked amazing. Yeah, the one arm tied behind the back. I actually liked it because it actually showed a vulnerability of Ronda. Charlotte really benefited from it. Going after that bad arm, going after her bad arm and everything else. She really took advantage of that one arm ruling. But at the end of the day, Ronda was able to overcome it, got the win, make her strong. Naomi looked good in the match as well. So I mean, for what it was worth, I could say about maybe 2.5 stars. But for everything included with everything at the end, I thought it was a solid. It was solid for what it was worth. So Anthony, it's yours.
2.25, 2.5. This was a TV quality match with the added stipulation of Ronda Rousey's arm being tied behind her back. It was solid but unspectacular and surprisingly short given the talent involved. With that said, it accomplished its goal of presenting Ronda Rousey as a badass and the greatest threat to Charlotte's title reign. The former UFC star looked much more confident than she did at the Royal Rumble, and Sonya Deville really starred doing most of the work for her team. It was Naomi who stole the show, though, starring in her brief moments in the spotlight. She is dynamic, explosive, and has earned a greater role on WWE TV following her Match of the Year candidate against Charlotte Flair a couple weeks ago on SmackDown. Hopefully that opportunity presents itself for her after WrestleMania. For now, WWE is forging ahead with Rousey versus Flair, a match brimming with star power, and the potential to be an all-timer if both women are at the top of their game, and we already know they will be come WrestleMania 38. And I think we're all in agreement that it will be the main event of night one. So that's really all there is for me to say on that. So 2.25, 2.5. MF, let's move on to the next match.
All right. Next up was Happy Corbin versus Mad Cat Moss one-on-one. I should say Drew McIntyre versus Mad Cat Moss. Happy Corbin was in the corner of Mad Cat. It was Drew McIntyre winning the match. Look, all right. There's only one thing we need to talk about. There's only one thing in this match we needed to talk about. The moment where Mad Cat Moss landed on his head because of an inverted Alabama slam by McIntyre. It was scary. It looked horrible. I absolutely turned my head when it happened. It was an insane moment in the match. Thank God Mad Cat is actually okay, is what they're saying. And he did not suffer any real injury after that. From what we've been told, from what we've heard and what we've been told from WWE officials, is Mad Cat is okay. They did put a concussion protocol on him, and he actually passed it. So Mad Cat is okay. Thank God. The match was about 2.5 stars, 2 to 2.5 stars. But Anthony, man, I mean, that could have gone all kinds of wrong when that moment happened. Thank God Mad Cat is okay. Yes, we don't really like him as a character, but still, this is a wrestler, man. And wrestling is indeed actually real. We almost had a real life situation that happened last night, but thank God Mad Cat is actually okay from all indications.
Yes, thanks be to God, he is all right. Absolutely. 2.5 stars. Has any less than stellar TV feud produced 2 more physical matches that were better than they had any right to be? Outside of the ugly botch that could have injured Mad Cat Moss, this was a great, fun battle that saw McIntyre overcome the odds en route to a hard-fought victory. It was a great win for a guy WWE hopes to keep strong heading into WrestleMania 38, and it was another breakout performance from Madcap. For all the groans about his current character, Moss has repeatedly proved his value between the ropes. He is a guy who made his way through the WWE developmental system and is better now than anyone expected. Where this leaves all involved as the show of shows approaches remains to be seen, but this was a lot of fun and wholly different from everything else on the pay-per-view to this point. I hope I'm wrong about this, but I got a very so feeling that they're probably going to have Drew McIntyre and Happy Corbin square off at Mania. I hope I'm wrong about that because no one in their right mind wants to see that. So we'll have to wait and see, though. But that might be the direction they're heading. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. 2.5 stars, maybe even 2 3/4 for this. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, thank goodness that Madcap Moss is okay, because I saw that and I cringed and I was thinking to myself, gosh, I hope he doesn't have a broken neck. And thank goodness he is okay. And yeah, I mean, this was a fine match, 2.5 stars. I thought this was a fine match here. It was nothing like really special to write home about, but it was good for what it was worth. And yeah, and I hate to say this, guys, but I got this funny feeling that it's going to be Drew McIntyre against Happy Corbin at Mania, and it's a damn shame that I mean, the last 2 WrestleManias for Drew McIntyre, I mean, he's wrestled for the WWE Championship. He won it 2 years ago from Brock Lesnar of course, in the Performance Center. And then, of course, last year, a good match with Bobby Lashley for the title at Raymond James. And there's a chance that he could be getting this. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't know. I just got a bad feeling about it. So, just my opinion. Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, I agree with that. But we'll wait and see what happens next. Anthony Florio, you get to lead off on this one. It was the Raw Women's Championship. Becky Lynch versus Lita. Becky Lynch successfully defends the title 12 minutes and 15 seconds. It is all yours, my friend.
Much like Trish Stratus did in her match with Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam 2019, Lita proved she could hang with the top women's wrestlers of this generation. She went 11 minutes in her first match in 15 years and stunned the fans with her ability to keep them invested and produce an emotional roller coaster ride. What started slow intensified with every high spot, culminating in the moonsault false finish that had everyone thinking they were about to witness a new champion being crowned. Becky Lynch, as she has done so many times before, narrowly escaped because she finds ways to win when they otherwise seem non-existent. A great bit of storytelling with Becky doing the heavy lifting and Lita exceeding all expectations. This was a strong addition to what was a fantastic show. Up next for Bex, or Big Time Bex in this case, running it back with Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 38. And maybe we'll get the proper payoff from SummerSlam, where this whole thing started. We got to see it when we went to Raw back in November, and I think this should finally be the blow off. And I'm making an early prediction that the EST is going to make history for the second year in a row. We'll have to wait and see, though. I got this feeling that after she made history last year, I say she does it again this year. Early projection, though. Get back to me on when I believe we should do this show on Thursday, March 31st, in place of Strictly Sports, because MF, Bullock, and I, we feel, with all due respect, that we should not do a show on Friday, April 1st, because that's the Hall of Fame induction ceremony. And I believe that we should all, enjoy the Hall of Fame ceremony, especially when The Undertaker gets his rightful moment. So I'm just putting it out there now. So do our WrestleMania show the night before, and then we can relax and enjoy Mania after that. So not much more to say on that. So you can make an argument for Fight of the Night honors here, and I'm going to give this between 3 3/4 to 4 stars on this. So and hey, 46 years old, Lita still moving around like she was 26, man. That's all there is to say on that. So very well done indeed. And outcome never in doubt. And now, Michael Bullock, as I give it to you, 3 3/4 to 4. And come WrestleMania, Big Time Bex and the EST will finally blow off what's been long brewing since the SummerSlam when Becky made a big surprise return.
Yeah, they will renew their rivalry one more time, only this time on the biggest stage of them all. And yeah, so 3 3/4 to 4. I mean, I'll tell you what, Lita, she still looks good at 46 years old, and she proved that she could hang in there with the top women in WWE today. I mean, as you just saw at Elimination Chamber, I mean, when she hit that moonsault, I was like thinking to myself, is she really going to do this? But all in all, the outcome was never in doubt. I mean, yeah, Becky Lynch may have won this match, but I'll tell you what, kudos to Lita. I mean, she gave it her all. She poured her heart out into this, and at 46 years old, she still freaking got it. That's what I say. She still got it at that age. So there's really nothing more to say. Becky Lynch may have won the match, but I say Lita won the hearts of all the fans with her performance.
Oh, without a doubt, you could have heard it from the crowd in Jeddah. They were all saying it. You still got it, and I think, and definitely social media was definitely showing the love for Lita as well. So no, you're absolutely right. There was a lot of love, a lot of respect, and a lot of great moments, to say the very least. So yeah, this was an incredible match, no doubt about that. And when it was all said and done, like you said, it was all about Lita getting, having the match of her career, just competing at such a high level, and that's what it was. But at the end of the night, yes, it's all about big time bets. It's about Becky Lynch, and now, like you guys said, she is now going to be battling for the Raw Women's Championship against the EST. This is a rematch of SummerSlam where Becky won it in about 26 seconds. The second match was in our own backyard in Providence, Rhode Island, which I believe was like a 10 or 15 minute match where Becky Lynch found a way.
It was about a longer match. I think that match got about 18 to 20 minutes.
18 to 20, and ended up basically coming together and successfully defending the title. So yeah, so we got a lot to talk about here. We're gonna wait and see how it plays out, and yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So I'll say about 3 stars main event, because there was supposed to be a SmackDown Tag Team title fight. The fight never got off the ground. Viking Raiders and Usos, it never got going. It never started. So fight gets thrown out, whatever. We go to the Elimination Chamber for the men for the WWE Championship. Champion Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, Austin Theory, Riddle, Seth Rollins, and Brock Lesnar, winner of the bout in 14 minutes and 55 seconds. The new WWE champion is Brock Lesnar. Ladies and gentlemen, at WrestleMania Night 2, it will be Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns, title for title, winner takes everything. You heard me right. The WWE title, the Universal Championship, somebody is going to be one man with 2 championship belts. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
And Fletch, we can say that this, at WrestleMania, this has got the definition of a big fun feel when you got champion versus champion, title for title with these two. So I certainly cannot wait to see this go down. So 3.5 stars is my rating for this. I mean, I thought it was good, but one of the big stories from this is Bobby Lashley. I mean, as you saw with that, when Seth Rollins with what looked like a power bomb on I think it was Austin Theory. It went right through the plexiglass, and Bobby Lashley hit the steel beam, and he they said that he entered into concussion protocol, but that was more of a write-off, because later on we found out that he has to have shoulder surgery, and Bobby Lashley is out for 4 months. So Bobby Lashley is out of WrestleMania. So definitely a tough one to hear. So hopefully Bobby Lashley will recover, and we hope to see him back soon. So yeah, the outcome to me was never in doubt. But did you see that F5 that Austin Theory took from the top of that pod? Man, oh man! I mean, I thought he was going to get killed by that. I mean, oh man, that was pretty sick. So yeah, I mean, 3.5 stars is my rating. Fletch, the Beast is the champion, and now it's title for title at Mania.
Yeah, unbelievable match. Look, I know a lot of people are wicked angry right now because a lot of people felt like this was the worst chamber match ever. Look, I get where they're coming from. And they do have a gripe. Why are we doing Roman versus Brock title for title? Why? It didn't need it. It doesn't need that. The problem is that Lashley got legitly hurt, guys. So this was kind of the best possible scenario they could have done. So what? So, okay, if Lashley goes out, what? The belt goes up for grabs? No. You want a big payoff at WrestleMania, so why not do title for title at WrestleMania? Champion versus champion. I don't mind it. Look, these two guys, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, I'm going to say it, and I don't care if I get a lot of heat for this. They are the equivalent of the Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania 6. We've seen this. We know what it's about. Brock and Roman are intellectual equals. They are superior than anybody else in WWE today. And they are going to book this as the biggest main event of WrestleMania. You thought a few years ago was big. This is going to be the ultimate payoff. Now, the thing is, who's walking out with the gold? Honestly, I'm calling for Roman Reigns to win everything and be the one to hold both the Universal Championship and the WWE title. Because if he does, that means he'll be eligible for both Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. And you know WWE is going to want to do that. Have Roman Reigns as that tribal chief, as the pinnacle of this company. Have him hold the belt until SummerSlam, because that's right now the timetable for Bobby Lashley to come back. Have Lashley go after Roman. Lashley takes the belt at SummerSlam, and then everything will be back to normal. So no, man, I right now this could go a number of ways, but at the end of the day, for me, this is the right decision. So it's about maybe 2.5 to 3. The women's chamber was better. Anthony, I give it to you.
It was the Brock Lesnar show. What else is there to say? And what did I say the other night? I told you guys this was going to happen. I told you. And I mean, he's only the second person. He's the first man to do it, but he's the second overall. The only other one who did what he did was Shayna Baszler a couple years ago in the women's elimination chamber when she eliminated the entire field. And that's exactly what Brock Lesnar did, although Lashley was taken out, but still. But I do have a criticism here. AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and Riddle, I believe, all deserved better than how they were treated here. They were dispatched as mere afterthoughts. It can be argued that their use was downright disrespectful. Not for one moment were they booked as if they were any threat to Brock Lesnar. And therein lies the reason why some struggle to accept the current crop of full-time superstars as genuine main event stars. There are plenty of other directions to head with the booking here, particularly given how close AJ Styles came to beating Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series in 2017, and how Seth Rollins defeated him cleanly at WrestleMania 35 and SummerSlam 2019. Instead, two guys the company will rely on to carry its flagship show beyond the show of shows were devalued on a grand stage. Ditto to Riddle, who had momentum on his side and is a star of the future. With that said, WWE did wonders for Austin Theory here, putting him in the position it did and allowing him to get the star rub from Brock Lesnar. Sure, he was a tackling dummy for the Beast, but he would not have been anywhere near that position 6 months ago. So it's a testament to his performance in recent creative that his spot in the match actually made sense. It was obvious entering the bout that Lesnar would win, and protecting Bobby Lashley in defeat would be key. The manner in which the Almighty was removed was fine, and before we knew about the injury, I would have said it gave him an excuse to have another title match down the road. And a title versus title match was necessary for the Reigns match, if only to give it added gravity, considering how many times we have already seen him and Brock Lesnar battle. Better execution of everything else would have helped this, though. 2.5 to 3, I 100% agree with the rating. So now we move on to what will be, without a doubt, the biggest main event in WrestleMania history. Bigger than Hogan and Andre. Bigger than the Mega Powers exploding. Bigger than the Ultimate Challenge. Bigger than the Iron Man match. Bigger than Stone Cold and Shawn Michaels. Bigger than the two main events with Stone Cold and The Rock. Bigger than Lesnar and Angle. Bigger than the WrestleMania 20 Triple Threat. Bigger than Batista and Triple H. Cena and Triple H. Cena and HBK. Taker and Edge. Orton and Triple H. Shawn and Taker. Rock, even bigger than Rock and Cena. Both incarnates of that. And bigger than the two previous Lesnar Roman main events by a country mile. Bigger than Roman and Triple H, bigger than Taker and Roman. You get the whole now, and even bigger than the women's main event in 35. You already know where I'm going. So it's going to be the biggest main event in history. They're going to hype it as such, and I agree with MF. I believe Roman. My early projection is that Roman Reigns is going to walk out of Jerry World as literally the tribal chief of tribal chiefs. That's all there is to say on that. You really want to make him the tribal chief? Give him both. Have him walk out with still his Universal Championship and the WWE Championship, and you make him an even bigger star than he already is. So that's all there is to say on that. 2.5 to 3. Let's get to our overall review, and I believe it's MF who starts it.
It is indeed. And I'm just going to say, look, all in all, it was an okay Saudi show. Probably not better than the last two that they've done. But I could give this about maybe 6.5, close to 7. But I'm more towards the 6.5. I thought there was some good action. There was some good matches. A lot of the outcomes were predictable, though, and that's kind of if you really think about it in the grand scheme of things. I would like to have seen something shooken up a little bit, but we didn't really get that many shakeups throughout the night. One match never happened, never got off the ground. It was fine. I'm not going to say it was anything spectacular, but it is what it is. So for me, 6 to 6.5. Anthony, go.
Yeah, 6.5. I mean, Some things could have, obviously, a lot of things could have been better. Yes, the outcomes were predictable. Most of the outcomes were predictable, rather. And some of the matches could have been better, but it wasn't the worst show in the world. I'll say it like that. Even though from a professional standpoint, the intervals helped the match, but from a personal standpoint, I didn't really like the intervals in both matches. I felt they were both. I kind of felt personally they were rushed. For what professionally, they helped the respective matches, but the grand scheme of things, I always remembered the chamber intervals were like 5 minutes, and the matches, those matches usually tended to go about 30 minutes or so. Both of them got about a little more than 15 each. That's my only little criticism on that.
Yeah, they both ended up getting about 15 minutes apiece. Yes.
Elimination chamber matches. I mean, we always remember them getting 30, 35, if not more. But it is what it is. But all nitpicking aside, 6.5. I 100% agree with MF's sentiments, and I mean, I don't know what else there is for me to say except now it's on to WrestleMania, and the only thing I hope is that for the next 6 weeks, I really hope WWE puts their best foot forward and gives us a reason to take WrestleMania seriously. Because I know there's a lot of people out there who, don't. And of course, one of them we cut ties with a month ago. You know who I'm talking about? Who goes on, who loves to rant on WWE any chance that he gets, and I know he already feels that way. So, but I'm just gonna say it like this to sum it all up. Overall, fine show, a solid show, not overly spectacular. So WWE, I do have a message for you though. Very simple. You have 6 weeks to convince us fans that WrestleMania is going to be worth it. Because if you don't, there's no reason for the fans out there to care at all. So they better do a damn good job of making this worth it for the next 6 weeks. We've had some bad builds over the years, and they actually ended up being good shows as a result. But I don't know. We'll see. But the next 6 weeks, the build better be damn good. So that's all there is to say on that. 6.5. Bullet, take it home.
Yeah, 6.5 for me. I mean, I thought it was a good show. Not anything special, not anything overly spectacular. I mean, there are some things that definitely could have been better, but it was okay for what it was. And yeah, I do agree. I mean, they do got 6 weeks to convince us to take this WrestleMania seriously. But I'll tell you this, guys, I'm still gonna watch it no matter how bad the build is. Because look, it's WrestleMania. I mean,
Same here.
Yeah, exactly. Unlike someone that we recently cut ties with, who will probably not give a damn about WrestleMania anyway. So yeah, I mean, there's really nothing more for me to say. Let's put a bow on this.
All right, and we're done for the night. So tomorrow night is Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. As we will go on the road to WrestleMania, we're going to start it off with, of course, Monday Night Raw, and actually a special Tony's take, as there was a special Impact Wrestling event that went down last night.
Yep. Impact Plus last night presented a special event called No Surrender. It aired exclusively on Impact Plus, and it also streamed on Fight TV. And let me tell you something. That Fight TV, I didn't watch the Fight TV feed, obviously, because I have Impact Plus, And I heard that Fight TV version of No Surrender had alternate commentary from 3 Knockouts legends. So I got to look into that and see who that was. I know they had. It was SoCal Val, Tara, Lisa Marie Verone, Victoria in WWE, and Knockouts original Tracy Brooks. So yeah, they provided alternate commentary. But anyways, I'll have a full review of the show, including a couple of big turns and the Forbidden Door. Well, maybe not quite a kick down of the Forbidden Door, but somebody from Ring of Honor in the women's division showed up to challenge Deonna Purrazzo for the Knockouts Championship. And as soon as we're done here, MF, I'll tell you who it was, and because I got a feeling it's someone you know. So that's all there is to say about that. Ridiculously Raw tomorrow night. Our review of Monday Night Raw, the Raw fallout from the Elimination Chamber. We start the road to Mania, and the special Tony's Take, my full review of the Impact Plus special No Surrender, and then we'll take it from there. So I'm hit him with the rest of the future content.
All right, and we're done for the night. So we'll see you guys at 11 p.m. tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody, and so long for now. See you tomorrow.